drink all day till the morning. I wouldn't get drunk.
Wow.
Because I did so much coke.
Yeah.
So on the way home, I wrecked into 4 or 5 vehicles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
And people got severely injured.
Oh, wow.
They just say people lost limbs.
Money well spent, I move just fine, trust me. So much work for y'all. Elect me to be the dope man serving y'all. You can spend your last 5, it's worth it, y'all. Cause so much work for y'all. I know this economic depression hurting y'all, but I got so much work for y'all. Once the clientele popping, I'm setting up shop and knocking my competition smooth out of the box. Till the word can't be removed out of the block, and y'all cut like to be removed out of the drop.
What's good in the hood? This is For the Thrill Podcast, episode 64, and I am your host, MC Thrills. I got special guests in the building, Fernando Mora. And I just want you to give them a little bit of introduction, a little story about yourself for the people that don't know who you are, and maybe even to the people that might know who you are. If you want to give them a little bit more, well, this is your time to do so.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the podcast. My name is Fernando Mora. Where'd I start? I grew up in a bad side of town. I was incarcerated. I spent some time locked up, turned around, went to school, got an education, started a couple of small business, and now turned actor / model. But in a nutshell, that's me. And here in this interview, we'll walk through a few of those things and kind of elaborate on those things.
Yes, sir. So me and Mora met at the set of King of the South. Shout out director Carmona. He said that he's ex-con and he turned his life around. We talked a little bit about that behind the scenes, but also that he has a ministry and also a fellow podcaster as well, which you do sports podcasts.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Also, got my well, it's not mine. I'm a co-host.
Co-host. Oh, okay. You're, okay.
210 Sports.
210 Sports. Okay.
We talk general sports. We talk mainly boxing.
Nice.
Fight night. We talk boxing. We talk UFC. We talk even WWE, believe it or not.
Oh, nice. I'm a big fan of WWE, by the way.
Yeah, and that's what we do because we realize that, hey, there's a lot of people out there that love wrestling.
Yeah.
I used to love wrestling growing up, but then I like to say, I grew up. Yeah,
you know what's funny? I actually just got back into WWE. Like maybe within the past few months, I just got back into it. Because I stopped for years, and then I got back. I see The Rock came back, and then whole spiel came in, and then I just got sucked back in.
That's when I would watch it. The Rock was there, Undertaker, all these big names and stuff. But then when they were all gone, I kind of lost interest.
Yeah.
But then now he comes and goes. And,
yeah.
That's, what they say, you're the man crush, nothing gay or anything. It's just someone that you admire. Well, that's The Rock for me.
Yeah. You're heavy on him as a movie star, wrestler, just in general.
As a person in general.
Yeah.
Movie star, wrestler, and just the way he carries himself. And I kind of, I don't want to say try to be like him, but I kind of look up.
You admire him. Admire him. Yeah. No, definitely. It's crazy. So my favorite wrestler was Triple H.
Hunter.
Hunter's handling Paul Levesque. Yeah. And now he's like the CCO?
No, he's Mr. What's his name? What's the owner's name of WWE?
Oh, Vince McMahon.
Yeah, he married her daughter, so
So now
he's Mr.
McMahon. now he's technically taking that role, especially the whole thing. I don't know if you heard what happened to Vince McMahon and everything, but that's
the lawsuits.
That's a whole other story.
Right.
But now back to you, man. The podcast 210. We're in San Antonio. For those of you who don't know, 210 podcast.
It's actually 210. The number 2.
Oh, okay.
The number 2 in the word 10.
Oh, okay. So they can find it at 2TEN podcast. Is that on like Spotify, YouTube?
Right now it's on YouTube and Facebook.
Okay.
We usually go live on Tuesday nights from Smoke Sky Bar. Shout out to Smoke Sky Bar.
Shout out Smoke.
Norman Velez. He invited us to go out there. And we talked about earlier that, Smoke Sky Bar added. They had some additions.
Yeah, the new area.
The quote-unquote Sky Bar.
Yeah.
So it's finally open, and they wanted to give people that go in there for happy hour, in the evening, something to enjoy.
Yeah.
So what they decided to do was they decided to get a handful of 4 or 5 different podcasts to go live in the evenings from there. So if you're there drinking a beer, you can watch a live podcast and ask questions and stuff. So we were lucky enough to be one of them.
That's pretty dope. That's a dope opportunity.
Yeah.
And you said you just started this past Tuesday?
We had our first episode.
Nice. Congratulations.
On Tuesday. We interviewed Joel the Midman. Shout out to Joel the Midman. He does. He's a cut man also.
Okay.
So boxing, MMA. You usually see him out there in the corner when somebody gets cut.
Yeah.
He goes to work and stops the bleeding and stuff. Real nice guy.
Nice.
We had him. We're gonna have a professional boxer coming in next Tuesday by the name of Guillermo. What's his last name? Gutierrez. Guillermo Gutierrez. Yeah, he's gonna come out and we're gonna tell his story. And we usually go about by asking them how they started.
Yeah. When
they turned pro, what's their record, what division what they fight at.
Yeah.
And when their next fight is. Just pretty much pick their brain about boxing. And then we talk about current fights that just happened.
Keep people up to date, and get that discussion going.
We keep the crowd up to date of what's coming up.
Yeah.
Like for instance, tomorrow.
Yeah.
You got Jake Paul fighting.
Oh yeah, hey, that's right. I just seen the
the preview of the
commercial,
the hype.
The weigh-in. There you go, the weigh-in. They were all like, and then they looked like they was fighting, but
that's actually tomorrow.
Yeah, the fight's tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, and
who you going for?
You know what? When Jake Paul, I'm a big boxing fan.
Yeah.
And when Jake Paul first came in, I didn't like him at all. I said, dude, you're making fun of the sport, But the more I see him fight, the guy has skills. Mm-hmm. He's raw, but he has skills. If he can just kind of keep practicing and mastering it, he can actually, contend for maybe the title in a couple of years.
Okay, you think he could be a great fighter?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he could. But it's just he fights, retired MMA fighters.
Yeah. That's the thing I see a lot on social media where they bash him about because he's facing people that's not. You got to face the people that's
the real boxers.
Yeah, the real boxers. Yeah.
Why are you going to go into a sport?
Like Mike Tyson and.
Well, that's another thing. Mike Tyson's going to be 58 years old.
Yeah.
He's what, 28, 30 years old.
Yeah.
Fighting a guy that's 58.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, that's a no-win situation for Jake.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, if you beat Mike Tyson, well, you just beat up an old man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if you lose to Mike Tyson,
right,
an old man beat you up.
Right, so then your record just even goes. That'll be even worse, right?
You can't win. The only thing that wins is the pocketbook, and he'll be able to say that, hey, you know what? He stepped in the ring with the baddest man in the world.
Right.
That's the only thing positive that can come out of it, and I think that's why he's doing it, so that way he can tell his kids, grandkids in the future, like, hey, when I was young, I fought.
Well, I think it's just a big money move in general.
It's just money.
Yeah. I think that's the main thing because Mike Tyson's name alone, you know, is just. And then like when you see Mike Tyson, like the way he punches the bag, still he does his training, he still looks like he got it, but. You can't be grandfather time, right?
You can't. No, you cannot. And people say he still looks fast. And I say, well, my answer to that is, if you're going down the highway 60, 70 miles an hour, you're going pretty fast, right?
Yeah.
Because nothing's moving.
Yeah.
You keep that same speed, but here comes somebody in a Ferrari 100 miles an hour. Well, guess what? You just do that. You were standing still.
Right.
So, yes, he looks fast because nothing in front of him is moving. It's all stationary. But when you get somebody else that's faster than him, he's not going to look as fast. So, yeah. I mean, I hope Mike Tyson wins.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't think it's a good move. And I called it a while back. I said, you know what? Mike Tyson is probably not even going to make the fight because of his health.
And then the whole situation.
Then I said that on my podcast.
Yeah.
On our podcast, I said it because my co-host asked me, so what do you think? Who do you think is going to win? And I said, you know what? Honestly, I don't think it's going to happen in July. They're like, really? Why? Something's going to happen with Mike Tyson and his health. He's overdoing it right now, training. some sort of condition's gonna pop up, and sure enough,
yeah, and it was on a flight, right?
Yeah. He had was in a hernia. It was something with the stomach that caused him an ulcer.
Oh, ulcer.
He had an ulcer that caused him to just get nauseated, start throwing up all over the place.
That sucks. Yeah.
So doctors advised him
Not
to take it easy, not too much stress on him.
Yeah.
That's why he had to call the fight off, and that's why Perry stepped in. Mike Perry.
It's funny because when you said about like Jake Paul, is the same thing I thought about Logan Paul going into the WWE. At first, I'm like, oh man, this guy. But believe it or not, he's pretty great at wrestling. I don't know if you've seen any of his WWE fights, but he's like kind of top tier. Like he'll jump from the rope all the way to the other side of the ring. Like he really does the moves that could get you hurt.
Kind of like Van Damme used to do.
Yeah, or like RVD. Yeah. And I don't know if you know Ricochet. He's a wrestler that does high flying stunts. Yeah, well they went both on one side of the ring and the other side of the ring. They just clank. I'm like, all right, but I had that same like what you were saying about Jake Paul. Yeah, he could like, and then like Logan Paul, and then you see people because they see him as them YouTube stars, them YouTube kids, and then I'm like, actually, it looks like he's invested. Like it looks like he's invested.
They're putting the time in the gym and stuff, and which you can tell.
Yeah.
But I personally don't like him.
Yeah.
But
he's that person.
That's my opinion. Everybody has their opinion.
Yeah, thanks.
That's why I hope Mike Tyson beats him, and I hope he steps up to fight.
Oh, they're still gonna fight
in October.
Oh, okay, they're still gonna. Okay, I wasn't sure if they were still gonna.
No, they postponed it because of now. Hopefully, Mike Tyson will make it to that one.
Yeah. No, hopefully, yeah. So, what made you get on the podcast and start with the 210 podcast? How do you end up collabing and doing it?
Actually, a friend of mine, to Roger Gomez. Shout out to Roger Gomez. He owns an e-magazine. It's called Latin International.
Oh, okay.
Where he interviews a whole bunch of people, kind of like what you do.
Yeah.
Whether it's music, entertainment, sports, whatever.
Yeah.
Business.
Yeah.
He just interviews people, and he used to have a sports podcast, but he never had the right person to do it with. And when he met me, I kind of started talking about boxing, and he started asking me questions. He goes, "So you know a lot about boxing?" I said, "Oh yeah, I know a lot about boxing. I watched it since I was a kid. My dad had pay-per-views growing up, and I never lost the love for the sport. I love the sport of boxing."
Yeah.
And he says, "Well, I used to have a podcast. What do you say we bring it back?" And we called it Left Hook Boxing by Max Mora. Max is my middle name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we called it for a while. There we had it Left Hook Boxing with Max Mora.
Okay.
For maybe 3 or 4 months, and then just recently, he got a sponsor. Excuse me. He got a sponsor, which was the law office of Gomez, Joe Gomez. Mm-hmm. And a shout out to the law office. They sponsored us, but they told us that we need to change the name to just Fight Night, because they just didn't want us to talk about boxing all night. They wanted us to talk about boxing, MMA,
all types of fights.
And WWE.
Okay.
So it's in general. Fight Night.
Okay.
So now we interview wrestlers. Mm-hmm. Well, we haven't yet, but we're going to.
Yeah.
Wrestlers, boxers, and MMA fighters.
Okay.
So it's going to be a variety.
So it's called Fight Night?
Fight Night.
So what's the difference between 210 and Fight Night?
210 is the mother company.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay, so where they can find everything will be under 210.
210 Sports.
Okay, but the name of the podcast is Fight Night.
Fight Night, yes.
Gotcha. Nice.
210 Sports Fight Night. It's all one together.
Oh, 210 Sports Fight Night all together.
Because he's going to have, I'm assuming later on, 210, because he has another 210 Sports where he and his son talk about Cowboys and football.
Oh, okay.
And we used to do it on Thursdays. He and I used to do it on Thursdays, but him and his son, they're on the radio on KLMO or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're doing it on there, so that kind of scratched our Thursdays.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm kind of also like, I guess you could say a guru when it comes to Spurs. I've been a season ticket holder for 10, 11 years now.
Oh, wow. So, big, huge fan.
Yeah, I got 6th row. Ticket from the 6th row from the floor.
Oh, wow. Nice. Nice.
Yeah, I love it. Watching Wemby play is just like amazing. He's so tall,
Do y'all talk about basketball, football, and stuff like that too, or just
we were doing it on Thursdays, but now he and his son.
Oh, that was the Thursday thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Fight night is strictly fight night.
Oh, gotcha.
Like
So is that the thing that's on Tuesdays at Skybar? Is that every Tuesday?
Every Tuesday.
Nice.
Well, for now, until we're told otherwise.
Yeah. No, that's dope. Do you do it on any other days than Tuesday, or Tuesdays just the?
He and I were doing it Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Oh, yeah.
But now that he and his son got on the radio on Wednesdays, we kind of eliminated the Thursday, and he and his son talk on Wednesdays on the radio.
Gotcha. So, what time they can catch you at Skybar?
Skybar is 7 to 8 o'clock on Tuesday nights. Skybar up in the actual Skybar.
Yeah.
We'll be there live. So if you guys don't have anything to do, want to enjoy some barbecue, some drinks, and enjoy live podcasts, and we make it kind of interactive where people can ask questions.
Yeah, cool. That's
people can ask questions, and we answer it right there live and stuff. So it's fun. Nice. I love it. I love talking sports.
Yeah. No. I can tell. We started talking boxing. You was ready.
Oh yeah.
So let's go back to the like we said, we met on the movie King of the South. How do you get that role, and how do you get into that?
Well, again, the Latin International.
Oh, Latin International.
I was I'm a small investor in it.
Okay.
And like I said, we interview a whole bunch of different people from all walks of life, and we started interviewing some directors. So we interviewed a gentleman by the name of Hollywood Ocho.
Okay, so this is something else they're separate that you're part of with the interviews?
It's the same guy.
Okay, same guy, just different.
He has an e-magazine and he has a podcast.
Oh, okay. So you interview with the e-magazine as well?
So I interview every now and then. I interview people with
you help out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
I help out when you,
gotcha.
Especially we're gonna have we've had some world famous boxing trainers.
Nice.
As a matter of fact, David Benavides. I don't know if you know who David Benavides is. The guy that Canelo Alvarez doesn't want to fight.
Oh, okay.
The Mexican monster.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
So his dad, I met him a few years back, and we pretty much kept in touch. So he was in town, and
and you got him on him.
Oh yeah.
That's fire.
And then another gentleman by the name of Robert Garcia from RGBA, Robert Garcia Boxing Academy.
And this is what Latin International that you met.
No, I already knew all these people.
Oh, you knew these people. Okay.
But we brought them into them. We did interviews for the magazine.
Okay, gotcha.
Wrote articles about them. And as a matter of fact, Carmona is on our last issue, the cover of our last issue.
Oh, yeah. I seen that.
That's our magazine.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the one you're talking about now. Okay, so that's okay. I did see because I seen Larry shared it, and then I seen on Carmona's page with the.
Well, Larry is our lead writer.
Oh, Larry's the lead writer. Okay.
Yeah,
it's cool to see the faces match everything now.
Yeah. And Roger, I don't think Roger wasn't there that day you were there. He's the owner of it.
Okay.
And he played a role. What did he play? He filmed with us on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Where Kiki gets tortured.
Oh yeah. I see the picture. That looks pretty pretty intense scene, man.
That was intense.
Oh man, and the dude Kiki, he looks like he's really great actor. Man.
He's a great actor. Rather, I want to say good. He's a great actor.
Yeah. Because when he just that bar scene, he was just like real intense with his emotion and everything.
He gets into it, and that's something that I'm learning.
Yeah.
As I grow into this, so with the magazine, we interviewed a guy by the name of Michael Ocho Tarena.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Ocho. Real nice guy. I mean, you look at him and you probably think like, dude, you don't want to mess with this dude. This is mean.
Yeah.
He has tattoos all over his face, on the back of his head and stuff. But when we met, we hit it off like right off the bat because we had kind of like similar stories.
Yeah.
You know, he'd been locked up, did time, as well as I did, changed our lives and stuff, not doing positive things for the community. Well, he does the same thing. Oh. He was filming a movie called Dog's Life.
Dog's Life, okay.
DAWGZ.
Okay.
Life. Basically, it's a cartel gangster type / love story.
Mm-hmm.
Without trying to give it away too much, it's about a guy that's in a cartel, meets a girl, falls in love. Girl wants him to get out of it. He's trying to get out of it, but then they kind of mess with her. So then he takes it upon himself to go after the cartel. So
gangster love story.
Yeah. When he told me a gangster love story, I said kind of like Grease. Thunderbirds.
Yeah. Grease lightning. Yeah.
No, not like Grease.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so he told Roger and I, like, hey, we need extras. You know, you guys want to be in the movie? Extras.
In the Dog's
Life.
Okay.
That's my first movie I came out in, and I said...
This is already released?
It's going to come out next week, I think.
Oh, shit, okay.
On Tubi and on Amazon.
Nice.
Dog, D-A-W-G-Z, Life.
Dog's Life, check it out.
Check it out. My scene is quick. So he asked us to be extras. So we said, sure, why not? So I actually get killed twice in this movie.
How you get?
Yeah, it's weird. So it's towards the end of the movie when the guy, you know, it's a typical cartel movie. You know, when a guy goes after the cartel, what happens? They go to a place and there's like 20 dudes out there guarding the castle, the premises, whatever.
The house or whatever it is.
Bam.
People start dropping.
Yeah. So basically that's what happens to get to the leaders.
Yeah.
So there's about 15 of us. He kills us all. As soon as he walks into the door.
Spoiler alert, guys.
Yeah, it's a small scene. As soon as he goes in there, he kicks the door. No, he walks in or something. I'm the first one to come out. I die. You don't see my face or anything, so I die real quick. Mm-hmm. He goes on and does his thing and stuff. And then the director, after we cut, the director says, I need a guy that's the leader of the goons to have a little fight with the lead.
That was you.
Yeah, so nobody said anything. And I was just there. My buddy was like, go up there. I said, I'm cool. I already got my scene. I died. I come out of the movie. I'm done. That's what I want.
But your face wasn't shown.
My face wasn't shown.
So that's what makes it.
Yeah, you can tell I died twice.
Yeah. So, that's the thing about camera magic, man.
Exactly. So after a while, a couple of other guys were telling me, go, because of my signs.
Yeah.
And one of my buddies, he goes, to work that, we worked out together in the past. He goes, man, go take off your shirt and go up there. Because I'm full of tattoos. I'm tattooed all my front, my back, my sides, all over. So I said, well, what the heck? So I took off my shirt and I stood there, and the director looks at me and he goes, perfect, come here.
Oh, you took it off in mid him accent?
No. We had already cut. We're outside there talking. And he said, okay, I want you to come around the corner and you're going to look that way. He's going to be there. You just kind of like flex and grunt. He's going to come at you, spear you, and beat you up, and that's it. I don't say anything, I just grunt. That's my first movie. I don't have a line, I just like, grunt.
Yeah.
He kills me, so that's how I died twice.
Yeah. Gotcha, that's interesting.
So because of that, I guess people saw who I was, and we met other directors. I don't say I came out, it's not out yet, but I also filmed another movie called American Coyote.
Okay.
American Coyote, which is, Coyote is the human trafficking, the guy that brings the illegals from Mexico into the United States.
Yeah.
I actually play an immigrant in that one. And
so like they go to try to get you.
Well, they bring me.
They bring you from Mexico, okay.
And I'm one of the ones that he crosses over. That one, I have very, very few lines, which were pretty much just improvised, Improv. So the camera's passing by and the director tells me, just act scared, you don't know what to expect. And I was just a beginner. I never had any lines in any movies. I didn't know what to do. So I was like, when the camera was passing, he goes, everybody looks scared. I was like, oh crap, here comes the camera, what do I do? So I just closed my eyes and I started praying to see the portfolio. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That works.
The director's wife, she goes, oh my God, Fernando, that came out great.
I bet,
because you're an immigrant in a stash house, you don't know where you are, you don't know if anybody's going to come get you, you don't know where you're going, you're just scared. What's going to happen to me?
Right.
So, what does one do in a situation like that?
Pray.
You pray.
Yeah.
Well, most people would pray.
Yeah.
So when the camera was coming this way, because she was going around filming everybody, and I just thought, oh crap, here it comes.
Sorry for that. I pictured that when she said that. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And so
And you know what? Even that something like that looks good for your size. Like it's better to see you doing that instead of you going like this just because you're such a big person.
Yeah.
Like for you praying, it works for you.
Yeah. So we did that, and okay, that was my second one, and then I responded to a casting call on what was it? Texas Filmmakers or something. It's a page on Facebook.
Okay.
That I friended. And they just put casting calls, on there. So
you signed up?
Yeah. Well, I said I'm interested. So they said, okay, send me some headshots.
Okay.
So when I sent them one with just a regular T-shirt and jeans, I sent another one with a dressed up, and then I sent another with a muscle shirt.
Yeah.
Just to kind of see that.
Yeah, give them different. Yeah.
So not even 2 days later, I got an email. Hey, meet us at I had an audition. Right, this one's different one. I went to the audition, and I didn't get the lead role because it was supposed to be 2 little boys and a father, right? And when I got there, they had the 2 little boys that were playing the role of the 2 little boys, and I'm like, really, 2 little white boys? And dude.
Wait, you were supposed to be the father of the
Well, they had a
white boys?
Exactly. That's my point.
That's hilarious.
But it was an audition.
Yeah.
But I looked and I was like,
why even cast?
I was like,
that's hilarious.
Really? There's no way I could be this kid's father. It's on the stepfather.
I was gonna say you gotta be a stepfather or adopted father.
Yeah. Come on, I'm Moreno, dude. I'm dark. These are white kids. I'm like,
that's hilarious.
So right off the bat, I went into audition.
Where's the cameras? Who's playing the trick on me?
Exactly. And I was like, there's no way I'm gonna get this role.
This is the third.
This is my third one. So the audition, I said, went through the motions. At the end of it, they made some cuts, and I think the second cut, that's when they called me and said, we got other ones that we're considering. I said, hey, that's fine.
I can tell you that.
I was like, yeah, how was I supposed to be there then? So they did tell me we need extras. If you want to be an extra, and I said, sure. I mean, I just started acting.
Yeah.
I want to fluff up my
feet wet,
I want to fluff up my resume.
Yeah.
My IMDb. Yeah. I did that, and it turns out that they liked me acting, so there was supposed to be 2 lead roles, which is the 3. The Father, the Son, and...
the Holy Spirit. No.
Yeah. And the friend, that family friend. So this one is about a man down on his luck, and he's walking his dog, and his kid's with him, and he runs across a gentleman that runs a dog fighting ring, and said, "Man, that dog could probably, do some good damage and keep making some money." So he's considering fighting this dog with a little boy like, "No, Daddy, that's my dog."
What's the name of this movie?
It's called The Good Boy.
The Good Boy.
It's a short film.
Oh, short film.
20, 30 minutes.
Gotcha.
So anyway, I don't know what else happened, but that's all I know. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
So when we were there, I guess they liked me, and they took me because I was supposed to be with all the extras. So they grabbed me from there, and they said, "Okay, you stand with the lead and start talking to him. You'll have a conversation." Okay. So I was kind of like the father's friend that wasn't casted into the movie, but they created what we're filming.
Just created in a role right there. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
So they liked me, and we filmed it. I don't know when that's going to come out. It's probably going to go to like film festivals.
Yeah. So
then after that, I did 2 commercials. I did one for a Mexican restaurant and a car dealership that they wanted me, looking at the cars while they're talking and stuff.
Yeah.
And another one got a free plate, Mexican food, and while they were filming what we were eating and stuff like that, which is pretty cool.
How do you get those the commercials?
Those, I have a friend of mine. His name is Albert Flores. He was actually the weatherman here in San Antonio on Channel 4 for like 20 years.
Oh, wow.
I grew up watching him on TV. Turns out that we went to the same high school.
Yeah.
Well, actually, he was about 20 years before me, but he's like 70. He now has a I don't know what it's called, digital marketing company, I guess. It's called Infinity.
Digital marketing,
That's what they do. They do commercials.
They
do social media, websites, and stuff like that. So a mutual friend introduced us, and he said, you know what, I could use you in a couple of commercials.
And then that's how you got
so I got those 2 commercials.
Nice.
So then I quickly learned that by one of the directors says, we look for the look.
Mm-hmm.
We know what we're looking for. We don't just get anybody off the streets. We know what we're looking for, the look. He goes, the acting, we can teach.
Yeah.
We can tell you to look happy, look sad, make that face, make the frowning face or whatnot. But you can't teach a look.
Mm-hmm. Episode 64, hope you're enjoying it. I just did episode 63. You might want to go back and check that one out for the Thrill Podcast.
You can teach someone how to act, how to laugh, how to cry, when to, make their faces, but you can't teach a look. That just either have a look or you don't what they're looking for. So that's what they taught me. So like this next week, I have a busy schedule. Mm-hmm. I have to go Wednesday to Austin to go film. You've heard of the show Yellowstone?
Yeah.
Yellowstone, it's a very popular show. Everybody was tuned in to watch that show. So they had a prequel, which was, I think, 1886 or something like that. Now they're having another prequel called 1923.
1923, okay.
Where Harrison Ford plays Kevin Costner's father.
And that's huge right there. Harrison Ford is huge.
Oh, it's huge. This is a Paramount production.
Yeah.
So I go Monday, and yes, I'm excited to be on the Paramount series.
Yeah.
But the acting is kind of taking a backseat for me, the way I think, is because, again, like I said, it's Paramount. My main goal out there this Monday is to network.
Yeah.
I want to go rub elbows with decision makers, the people that call for the casting. They call the shots for the casting, who they're going to have play whatever character. Who knows? They may call me back for another one. I'm going to take my cards and give my information, introduce myself, and they may cast me for a speaking role for Paramount or something.
Yeah. Well, networking is key, and like you, from going back from all your other roles, you was connecting with people you were networking. You got led to this role, to this role, to this role, and the climb. I just see it.
It's progressing.
And only 4 months, you said, right?
Yeah. 3-4 months.
Wow.
Something like that. So then Tuesday, I obviously work all day. Then I have a podcast from 7 to 8, and Carmona from King of the South wants to film another episode, another scene.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do that on 8:30. Film another scene. What it is, I have no idea.
Right after the podcast.
Right after the podcast.
Yeah.
What we're gonna do, I have no idea. Because I'm gonna be there. So
sounds like an improv.
Pretty much, and I like that. I'd rather do the improv than having to memorize all these lines.
That's good. Yeah.
I don't like memorizing all these lines. But anyway, so that's Tuesday.
It comes out natural too when you improv.
It comes out natural. That's what he wants.
Yeah.
So Wednesday, I have I met this other gentleman through a mutual friend that he's a director. He writes a lot of true crime reenactments and stuff.
Okay.
So when I told him my story, I said, you know what? I played this, and this. I died pretty much in all of them. I'm a cartel. I'm a bodyguard. He goes, well, let's change that up. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, you know what? I like you. I like your look. I'm going to write you a script. It's going to be like a short film, 20, 30 minutes. You're going to be the lead role.
Oh, nice.
I was like, really?
Nice.
He goes, yeah. He goes, I'm going to make you a detective on a crime scene.
And this flips everything you've...
Everything I've been doing.
Yeah, that's
now,
pretty cool.
Instead of the bad guy with no dialogue, now I'm a good guy with all
lead
dialogue.
Role. Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
So we're going to film that Wednesday. And I'm looking forward to that. Then he sent me 2. One's going to be a lead role, and then the other one, I'm going to be a doctor on another one where a couple goes to see the doctor, and I want to have maybe like 2 or 3 lines. That's it.
Yeah.
He goes, I want to make you the lead role in one, then I'm going to give you a small role in another one. I said, that's fine.
Yeah.
The more roles that I can get, the
better. Build your resume.
Yeah. So then, so I had all these, 4 or 5 already done. I got that horror movie coming up. I got that comedy movie coming up.
Yeah.
I got Paramount.
Yeah.
Carmona. and the detective next week.
That's your hard work and fruition. You see everything.
It's all coming out like.
Yeah. That's your seeds you planted are starting to grow.
I tell my wife, I was like, this is
moving
fast.
Yeah.
It's moving fast.
Yeah, because 4 months of you started acting 4 months ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's huge,
4
man.
months.
That's huge, man.
And in between there, a friend of mine, Felix Tambora, shout out Felix, he's a fashion designer. And again, Latinx, we interviewed him, and he says, hey, because I noticed that he kept like looking me up and down, and I was like, why does this guy keep looking me up and down? So then finally he came out and says, he goes, hey, have you ever modeled? Mm-hmm. And I said, no. He says, I have a clothing line that has some clothes that would look good on you.
Yeah.
First thing I said, I turned around and looked at him. I said, brother, I'll make your clothes look good.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Then he was like, all right. He goes, hey, meet me at a certain day. We're going to rehearse. So I walked the catwalk on a modeling stage for him.
Yeah.
So,
That was the first time or what?
My first time.
Wow.
So literally,
how was that?
In 1 weekend, I became an actor and a model in 1 weekend.
Wow.
It was nerve-wracking, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I was at home watching videos how to model, how to walk the stage, how to catwalk.
Yeah.
And my wife was like, what are you doing? She goes, I'm practicing how to walk doing the catwalk. So I did that, and I think he has another one coming up. We'll do another show with the modeling and stuff. And I'm like, where's all this coming from?
Back to back.
Well, I'm going to be 53 years old. You know, it's like, where was this in my 30s and 40s? Now here, 53 years old, I'm acting, modeling, and stuff, and which is great. I mean, I can't complain. I'm blessed, brother.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, things are just happening, and, you know.
It's a blessing, though, right? The 4 months.
Oh, yeah.
Just coming back to back. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And,
so, I was gonna say, so now, like, I know you were speaking of where you came from, like off camera, we spoke on it a little bit, not too much, but where you came from, you were ex-con, and then now you're doing all this. You're acting. You're doing a podcast. You're hosting a podcast. You're doing that on Tuesdays with Scott Barr. You're doing. It's a lot of good things going on. But what people don't know about is where you came from.
Yeah.
You want to talk a little about that?
Yeah, for sure. I grew up here in San Antonio, the south side of San Antonio, in a neighborhood called The Circle. The Circle is, you're not from here, so you probably
No, I only been out here.
It's on the south side. Back in the day, it was notorious for drugs.
The Circle?
Yeah, The Circle. It was notorious for drug dealers, and there was a lot of crime in that area and stuff. My mother's family was a huge family. There was about 15 kids in that family. And they were all my aunts and uncles, and they had kids, which are my cousins. And if you weren't smoking, drinking, partying, you were the oddball. Everybody was doing it. Yeah. You know, and peer pressure. So I started drinking and doing drugs by the age of like 14, 15 years old.
Oh, wow.
I was already
young.
Because it was all around me.
Yeah.
You know, it was, like I said, if you weren't doing it,
right,
you were the oddball.
Right.
So
peer pressure at that age.
Yeah. And then when no adults is telling you not to do it, encouraging it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if adults encouraging it is even worse. Yeah.
So, that's where I pretty much started. You know, I did drugs when I was like 15 all the way to the age of 35 for like 20 years. You know, just I was never really a bad person. It's just that I just got caught. Mm-hmm. How many people, you know, maybe even including yourself, you went and got partied at a bar, got drunk, so drove home, you're like, how the heck did I get home? Mm. You know, it's happened to a lot of people. Yeah. I don't want to say everybody, because people that don't drink out there, but for the most part, 90% of people can tell a story that they went out and they don't remember how they got home. Yeah. So drunk they were. Yeah. Well, I got caught. Mm. You know, I was driving home really drunk, and I remember it clearly because I would always do a lot of cocaine. Every day, every night. I mean, I'll get to that story in a bit, but that night, I couldn't find any. Everybody was dry. So I was like, screw it. I want to go party anyway. So I partied all night as if though I was on drugs, and the drugs would counter it. So I wouldn't get drunk when I was on coke. I drink all day till the morning. I wouldn't get drunk. Wow. Because I did so much coke. Yeah. So on the way home, I wrecked into 4 or 5 vehicles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
And people got severely injured.
Oh, wow.
Let's just say people lost limbs.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
Sheesh, yeah.
So they charged me with
oh man.
intoxication assault, which is one step right under intoxication assault. I mean, intoxication manslaughter.
Oh wow.
Yeah, nobody died, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, all this happened before social media was around.
Mm-hmm.
Then my accident happened in 1998.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was 27 years old. Like I said, luckily there was no cameras, nobody filmed everything and stuff.
Yeah. That would have been even worse.
Oh, it would have been no, it would have still been around. Footage of it.
Yeah.
So, so that happened. So then I had to. They wanted to give me 20 years in prison because of that. But I fought it, and I fought it.
You said 1990?
97.
Oh, 98, 97.
Uh-huh.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I fought it, and I fought it. I ended up doing, I think about a year and a half, because time served. I was in jail all this time and stuff already, so they gave me most of it as time served.
How long were you in jail?
About a year and a half.
Oh, year and a half.
Around a year and a half. So, but then when I came out, they had all these supervision stuff on me.
Mm.
I had to take the anti-abuse pill for, I don't know if you heard of that, so that way you won't drink, you can't drink alcohol with it because you get sick.
I never even heard of that, no.
The anti-abuse pill is a pill that they give you, you gotta take it every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Uh-huh.
And if you drink alcohol with it, you're sick to your
Throw it
stomach,
back up?
you think you're gonna die.
That's crazy.
You think you're gonna die.
I never heard of that pill.
Yeah, and
Wow.
it's called anti-abuse. I had that. I had the ignition interlock in my truck, which was a little machine
I heard of
that
that.
you had to blow into
Yeah.
it in order for it to crank over.
Crank the machine, yeah.
That's two. I had an ankle monitor. I had two ankle monitors. One of them was an alcohol detection,
Mm-hmm.
and the other one was a GPS.
Yeah.
Right? I had 500 hours community service.
Wow.
I had to go see Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous.
Wow. That's
Counseling.
that's you.
I had a lot.
I want to go back a little bit though. So, because they want to give you 20 years. What made what changed your mind to only give it a year and a half? Is it?
I fought it because luckily I worked for an orthopedic surgeon at that time, right?
So reputation.
I knew a lot of conditions of bones and muscles.
Uh-huh.
And it just so happened that about a year or two prior to my accident, we had this gentleman that was at work and got pinned in between a wall and a forklift, right? It pinned his leg. No broken bones, no lacerations, nothing. Went to the ER, and my doctor saw him at the ER, my boss. And they took the x-ray, everything, nothing was broken. They were going to send him home, but my doctor said, no. Keep him overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a condition called, what's the condition? Compartment syndrome.
Okay.
Compartment syndrome pretty much means if you have a crush injury, whether it's your arm or your leg, it's pinned into two things. No broken bone, no broken skin or anything. But your muscles swell and swell and swell. And the skin can only give so much. Mm-hmm. And then it doesn't give anymore. Mm-hmm. So the muscle still wants to swell. And it can't, so it dies. Mm-hmm. And it dies. All
muscle.
The muscle all dies. But you gotta watch a dead muscle. There's nothing you can do. You can't revive it, rejuvenate it, nothing. Wow. Cut. Then you gotta amputate.
Wow. Right. I know. You teach me something. So, I'm pretty sure you teach.
Yeah. So it's good to know. So I knew that. Mm-hmm. So then I asked my attorney for the report to the hospital, and I read the report and said the patient went to the hospital, no broken bones, no broken skin, was sent home. 10 days later, he went back in excruciating pain. They had to amputate the legs. So I said, hey, I told my attorney, look up compartment syndrome. Mm-hmm. I said, look, I'm not trying to get out of this, but I'll take full responsibility for the car accident. I was drunk. I fell asleep. That's my fault. I'm not denying that. Mm-hmm. But I'm not responsible for the guy losing his legs. The hospital, if they would have done their job, they should have kept him overnight to prevent him from going into compartment syndrome.
Oh, wow.
Right? But they let him go.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I was right. So I saved myself.
Wow, that's crazy.
And that's what they kind of wrote. That's what they took those charges.
So if it wasn't for you, you have the knowledge of that,
I would have probably been doing 20
years. You would probably been doing this. Wow.
Yeah, so I saved my own. But But
so was it one person they got like?
The university hospital was sued and
after that situation
in federal court.
Jeez.
Yeah, only one person was severely injured.
Okay.
But when you go to federal court, you probably talking millions of dollars
that
they sued for.
Jeez.
And he probably won it.
Jeez. He wasn't worried about Mora after that, huh? Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, still they wanted to
that's
time,
huge, yeah.
but the judge was like, you know what, yes.
Was there like people coming at you after that? Like how was life after that? Like were like the people from the wreck like?
Oh, it
was
was
it like?
It was bad. I mean, I hit rock bottom.
Was it in the news or?
No.
No. Okay, so you got lucky.
I know.
Yeah. Because that sounds.
So I was locked up there for that, and then I was sent home. This was in 2000 when I was locked up, and I did 5 years out. Well, they also gave me 10 years probation.
10 years probation. Okay.
5 years into it, I get locked up again.
Oh shit.
They suspended my license for 10 years. So I'll get rides everywhere, and I had, female friends pick me up, take me, go party, and they would drive, go to my house and stuff. One night, this one girl, I had met her at a bar. Mm-hmm. We were going to my place, but she stopped. She goes, I need to stop here real quick. She went, whatever, I stayed in the car. I was already pretty buzzed. Mm-hmm. She came back in, we took off. Next thing you know, she parked into a car wash. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I was like trying to figure out what the heck's going on because I was buzzed. She was, hey, can you hold this real quick? So I said, yeah, I'm at this. And you're all like, I was trying to focus. As I was trying to focus, there's a tap, tap, tap with a flashlight right on my hand. And I had an 8-ball in my hand.
Wow. She set you up or what?
What? She didn't tell me we were getting pulled over. I pretty much got set up, pretty much.
She like, he drunk, he not even take the blame.
So I got off and the cops, what you got in your hand? I went like this. He goes, the other hand. I was like, he goes, man. And I said, dude, it's not even mine. He goes, she goes, she must have seen you pull those over. She told me, hold this. And no, I held it. And you called me with it. He goes, bro, you should just thrown it on the car. Thrown it on the floor of her car. No, he asked me, whose car is it? I said, hers. He goes, you should have just thrown it on the floor. Would have caught her instead of you. I said, well, throw it now. He goes, it's too late. I saw it in your hand. Caught you red-handed.
Damn.
So I was like, oh my God. I said, dude, I can't go back to jail. Dude, I'm on 10-year probation. They're going to lock me up.
You telling the cop this?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He goes, man, I got to take you in. I got to do my job. Jeez. So I was like, well, can I at least get my phone, call my brother, tell him what's going on? Call my brother. I said, bro, I'm going back. They're like, what happened? I said, they called me with drugs. So he was like, oh, crap. I said, just tell mom and dad I'm cool. I'm all right. I'll call them later on so they get situated. So there I am, back in jail for about another, but this time neither one, no bond. I couldn't bond out. I had to wait there till my court date.
So did they get you for the speedball and, were you driving?
No.
You weren't, good thing you weren't driving. Yeah, that would be even worse, yeah.
That chick was, I said, you need to take the rap. I said, because I'm on felony probation. Mm-hmm. She said, I'll take the rap.
Oh, she ended up taking it?
No.
Oh.
She was saying she would.
Oh.
She let me out there just on my own, fend for myself, and she got out clean. Mm-hmm. So there I am back in jail again, and I was like, oh my God, can't believe this, I'm back in here.
Yeah.
And so I do another 6 months in there. And finally, when I'm going to court, I'm like, dude, that's it. I'm going to go to prison again because the judge gave me a chance. And here I go screw up again.
Yeah.
Judges don't like that.
Yeah.
And with felonies.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, what was the time frame between?
5 years.
5 years, okay.
So there I was. At this time, I was like 34 years old. Uh-huh. And so my buddy, this is a weird situation. The night before my court date, I had a dream that I was in a white bus with a whole bunch of men going to prison. I don't know if you heard of the Bluebird, what the Bluebird is. The Bluebird is what they call that big white bus that you see in movies and see that they're going to prison in a big white bus.
Oh, they call that the Bluebird?
Yeah, the Bluebird.
Oh, wow.
And so I had that dream. So then when I woke up, I was like, oh, crap. So it's 7 o'clock in the morning. There I am in the little wagon. It took like 5 of us to go. I had court date that day. And as I get there, I see a bailiff, which was my buddy, high school friend. He goes, "Dude, you here again?" And I was like, "Yeah, bro."
But this is the dream or your real life?
In real life.
Okay.
In real life.
Yeah.
"You here again?" And I was like, "Bro, dude, I screwed up." They're like, so my buddy tells me, "It's your lucky day." I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Man, I remember it was in the spring because the Spurs were playing. We're in the playoffs. We're playing the Lakers.
Yeah.
We're playing the Lakers that night in LA. So when we play the Lakers in LA, the game starts at 7:30 their time, 9:30 our time here, and it's usually done by 10:30 by midnight. But that night the game happened to go into overtime, so it finished till 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. So the bailiff said, "Well, man, last night the judge and like 4 of us bailiffs were at a bar watching it. And we didn't leave that bar till like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. By the time the judge got home, it was 2:30, 3 o'clock. Here it is, 7:30 in the morning. You don't want to be here. He's hungover."
Oh, wow.
And I was like, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah." So I'm assuming it takes a lot of paperwork
Yeah.
to send somebody, to prison. So
That's crazy.
yeah. So the judge looks at me and goes, Haven't I seen you in my courtroom before?" And I said, "Yes, Your Honor." And he's looking. He goes, "Caught you with drugs, huh?" And I said, "Yes, Your Honor." I said, "I'm sure you heard it a million times. It wasn't even my drugs. It was," and he was like with the hand out. "You're right. I have heard it a million times. It's never anybody's drugs," he said. So I was like, "Dang." So then he gets scrambling through paperwork and he says, "You know what? I don't know what it is, but I see something in you. Don't ask me what it is. I don't know, but I never have done this before. He said, I probably never will again, but I'll give you another chance."
Wow.
I said, "Thank you, Your Honor." He goes, "But if you ever come back to my courtroom again, I'll give you 20 years for the first one, 5 years for this one, and 5 years for whatever else you come back for. I'll give you 30 years, no parole."
Wow.
I said, "Thank you, Your Honor." So after that, I was like, happy, like.
But did you do any time that at any time?
Well, I was in jail 6 months. They considered it time served.
Okay. Oh, because they already.
I was already in the 6 months. I couldn't leave.
Gotcha.
So time served, and came out, and you would think I would change, right? You would think I would change. It wasn't for like 6 months later. Like I said, my habit was so bad that I would buy like a 8-ball, and I would get enough out to sell to buy another one, and my profit, I would break it up into little baggies. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and put the name on it.
That's great. So you would buy it, make a profit, or buy the next one, and just keep flipping.
Well, I would really never make a profit. I would just take enough to buy my.
Right. Yeah, your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess you could say my profit about next week's.
Right.
So
you just kept flipping your own. You boom, sell that, boom.
Just enough
off of that.
So I had no out-of-pocket expense after the first one.
Yeah.
So I had free stuff all the time.
That's crazy.
So the reason I put it in baggies was.
You used your genius for evil.
So I wouldn't. Yeah. So I wouldn't do it all in one night.
Yeah. Wow.
And next on my bed, my nightstand, a big old bottle. There's a Tylenol PM. I'll probably like 4, 5, 6 at the time to go to sleep. I was so high at the time.
Wow.
But I was a functioning drug addict. I never missed work. People that don't drink and don't do drugs miss more work than I did. So after that.
And were you working for the ortho?
Yeah.
Oh,
he saved my job for me every time I was out.
Wow.
He
must have been cool as hell.
He was cool with me.
Yeah. Wow.
And so one night, again, watching the Spurs game. I'm a big Spurs fan. I started crying.
Yeah.
I started crying like not just your little sniffle, little cry. I'm talking about a full-blown emotional cry where you can't breathe and stuff. And I was like, what the heck is going on here? Back then I considered myself, a macho, tough guy. You don't mess with me because I used to fight a lot, right? And I remember thinking to myself, why am I crying? I have no reason to cry. And I even looked at the TV and said, the Spurs are winning. Why am I crying?
Right.
So then I quickly realized that it was my inner soul crying out for help.
Wow.
I said,
that's deep, man.
It's my inner soul crying out for help. Like, I remember telling myself, I don't want to live like this anymore. I'm tired. So I went to the toilet, got on my knees, and I said, God, if you exist, get me out of this. I don't want to live like this anymore.
Were you spiritual before that?
When I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid, I mean, that's up until like 12 years old, 10 years old. So after that, I was like, I grabbed all my cocaine on the toilet, with cigarettes, my alcohol, flushed it. No, October 18, 2005. Not one drop except for the little shot glass you gave me.
No.
So we'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah.
So October 18 will be 19 years. Next year will be 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Clean and sober.
Wow.
No drugs, no cigarettes, no alcohol.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then after that, let's go to the alcohol thing first.
Oh, but I can know what we're laughing about.
The story, yeah.
Yeah, so when we're shooting King of the South, I brought my own bottle as a prop. It was the peanut butter whiskey. I actually got it over there. I'll probably show it in the camera where I got mine. You can see all my bottles over there. Yeah. But anyways, so Larry took a shot.
The scene, right?
Yeah, there was a scene where Larry took a shot. He's playing the doc in the movie.
A few shots.
He took like four or five shots because of the amount of takes. That was hilarious too. So I had the glass on the counter already. I never cleaned it. So Cody came and slid the glass over.
So it was my turn for my scene.
For his scene. And it maybe was probably maybe a little drop, right? A little drop and everything. So and prior to this, he told me he was 20 years sober.
19 years old, yeah.
Yeah. So he takes the shot and he goes,
listen.
It was a little bit of alcohol there. And I'm like, oh man, there goes your 20 years.
19 years down the drain.
That's it.
Okay, we're starting day one.
Day one.
That was funny. That was like, thanks to you, my streak was broken.
Right. It's going to sound bad, man. And you know what's funny? Because usually on this podcast, usually I do when people come on.
Give them a shot.
Yeah. Me and Carmona had some drinks. Other people, we usually have a drink. And then this podcast is sober, man. But
yeah. So then, after I got out, I felt a nudge telling me to go back to school.
After that day of crying and praying, or?
No, a few days after.
A few days after that, okay.
So I had just stopped everything, and then I felt a nudge. I felt God telling me to go back to school. Back to school. I was 35 years old, 0 credits.
Interesting.
College. So I said, okay. So during my lunch break at work, I went to Palo Alto College over in the South Side, and I asked, they were like, can I help you? I said, I want to go back to school.
Yeah.
They were like, well, you have any credits? I said, nope. What was that? If you're going to college? And I said, when I was 19, I was 35. I took some classes, but I failed them all. So they said, okay, go talk to this lady. So I talked to that lady. Go talk to that lady. Go talk to that gentleman over there. Talk to him. Next thing you know, I'm walking out of that campus with a schedule. Mm-hmm. I start next week. Mm-hmm. I was like, crap, I'm going back to school. So I went to work, and I told my boss, she was a very good friend of mine, Martha, and I said, hey, Martha, look, I'm going back to school. She was like, are you serious? And this was 15 years out of high school.
Wow.
I said, yeah. I said,
35 years old, right?
At 35 years old. I said, I start next week. And then she was, oh, I'm happy for you. Congratulations. I was like, thank you. I said, but I don't know how I'm going to pay for this. Mm-hmm. I said, but you know what? I was fresh at church. I had to start going to church.
Okay.
I said, you know what? I hear the pastor and everybody at church saying, if it's God's will, God will provide.
Yeah.
God will provide.
Yeah.
I said, I'm just taking a leap of faith here. Hopefully I come across somebody to pay for this.
Yeah.
So then at the end of the day, we worked, and the doctor tells me, hey, Fernando, I heard you're going back to school. And I said, yes, sir. I said, I don't know how I'm going to do this. But
the doctor you're working for?
The doctor I worked for at the time. Yeah.
You worked for, yeah.
She goes, well, before you leave, talk to Martha. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay. So I was about to leave, and I said, hey, Martha, the doc told me to come talk to you before I left. She goes, oh, yeah. She goes, I told him that you were going back to school, and he's got all excited because, he wants to wish the best for you because, he's always liked me, kept my job for me and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, what you've been through.
Put in everything.
Yeah, that's huge.
He wants you to succeed.
Yeah.
And I said, okay. Because I told him that you didn't know how you were going to pay for it, and then you said that God will provide. So he kind of started laughing. He says, you know what, pulled out his checkbook, and he says, tell Fernando he doesn't have time to wait for God to provide. So I'm going to go ahead and just going to help him out here until he'll get on his feet. So when she gave me the check, I started laughing. This is Fernando Mora, actor / model. I want to give a shout out to For the Thrill. Thank you for having me on your podcast, and I look forward to catching up with you in future movies. Thank you, brother. And she looks at me and she goes, why are you laughing? And I said, Martha, you don't get it. I said, the doctor said that I don't have time to wait for God to provide, not knowing that God is using him to provide for me to go to school.
That's why I say God works in mysterious ways.
Yeah, so to me, that was just a big blessing that took a burden off my back, not having to worry where I was going to get the money from. So I went to Palo Alto for like 2.5, almost 3 years when they told me like, hey, that's it. You can't take any more classes here. So I went to Incarnate Word University where I finished up my bachelor's. I have a bachelor's in business administration.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. So then I went and talked to my counselor, and all I could think about was, I have 2 felonies on me. A bachelor's degree is not going to be good enough. So I asked her, how much longer for a master's degree? She told me 2 years, and I was like, whoa, 2 more years. I was...
How many did you say our first 5?
3.
Oh, 3. Okay.
So I was already like 38.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. And then she told me this, and I passed it on to everybody who's contemplating going back to school. And I'll never forget this. She says, Fernando, 2 years are going to come and go whether you do something or you don't.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Don't be that person 2 years from now saying,
I should have did it.
if I would have started back then, I'd be done back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all it took. I said, sign me up.
Yeah. Wow.
So I did that. I actually knocked it out in 1.5 years.
Oh, wow.
So
Well, you did like extra credits and stuff like that?
didn't take breaks.
Oh, you just...
Straight through spring, summer 1,
Summer,
summer
everything?
2, fall,
Nice.
spring, summer 1, summer 2.
Dedicated. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So I got my master's in business administration, emphasis in marketing. And I actually got it in 5 years.
Wow.
Where most people it takes at least 6 years to get 4 years for the bachelor, 2 years for the master's. I did it in 5.
Wow.
So I was like, great. I have 18 years in orthopedics with a doctor. I have a master's degree. I'm going to get whatever job I want. Wrong. I applied for all these companies, like 3 or 4.
Giving them the honest truth.
The 3 or 4 companies, big companies.
Yeah.
My goal was to run an orthopedic for Oral Hospital because of my
Since you were in that field, yeah.
and my MBA.
Yeah.
Everybody I talk to, we're one-on-one. The guy in front of me tells me, Fernando, man, if it's up to me, I'd hire you right now on the spot. Yeah. 2 felonies.
Wow.
Everybody I talk to, one-on-ones,
Same thing.
the interviewer, if it was up to me, I'd hire you right now on the spot. But because of your felonies, it's got to come from corporate. A few days later, a few weeks later, I kept getting letters, we're sorry to inform you, because of the zero tolerance they have. No felony, no felony. So I got shut down everywhere I went. I was like, oh my God. And I was like, God, you had me go to school for a reason. You know, well, I forgot to say, when I told God to change my life, I told him, do with me whatever you want, I'm yours. I'll do whatever you want me to do. So they said, you're going to send me to school. So then I said, you know what? I started my own business in 2012 of marketing, Mora medical marketing. Which I've had for like 12 years now.
Oh, wow.
And I started that. And then I also, 11 years ago, I started a nonprofit organization, which is called Motivation Ministry. Some of you out there may have heard of it, may not. In case you haven't, we are a nonprofit 501c3 that gives toys and bikes to the less fortunate children in San Antonio. The last 10 years, we've gifted over 10,000 toys and 1,000 bikes.
Oh, wow.
That we've gifted. All this through. We have one sponsor, one corporate sponsor, which is Communicare Health Clinics. Other than that, everything is just raising money. Fundraisers, raising money, donations. Believe it or not, we have to raise like $30,000 to make this happen every year. If you think about it, 100 toys at $10 each. That's $1,000.
Yeah, yeah.
So you might get 1,000 toys. That's $10,000
Yeah.
right off the bat.
Yeah.
Bikes, they range anywhere from like $80 to $120.
Yeah.
On average, about $100 a bike, and we got 100 of them.
Wow.
That's another $10,000.
Wow.
So just in toys and bikes is $20,000. That's not including we feed everybody.
Wow.
Hot dogs, chips, and water. Plus, I gotta pay for the facility. I gotta pay for cops to be there. About $30,000 that we raise.
Wow.
And my donor gives them maybe like $5,000. The rest is all just
Hustle and bustle.
raising money. Little by little, I've had a few people that right away, November comes around, hey, Fernando, I got some bikes, I got some toys, where you're going to take them. Which, I love that. I mean,
so every December is when you do it?
Every December, right before Christmas.
Yeah.
So we have that going and stuff. And
is there a certain place where you set up shop and you do this, or do events?
Throughout, like next month, we're going to start doing events, fundraisers.
Okay. Where any specific locations?
It's mainly in the south side.
South side, okay. Do you choose different spots?
I try to. I have little concerts. But the main event, which is going to be the actual giveaway, is going to be at the VFW up on the south side of Roosevelt Avenue. I don't know if you know where that's at. It's the biggest VFW in town. It seats over 1,000 people. Mm. Last year we packed that place.
Yeah, packed it?
Oh, yeah.
So when you say concerts, what you mean?
Tejano concerts, country concerts, Christian concerts.
Oh, okay.
We do whatever we can. Whoever volunteers to sing and stuff, we put it together and then just $10 donation to go in there and watch, 10 bands or whatever pay. So we do different. I had a horseshoe tournament one year. We have just various things. Whatever I can do to raise money to get toys, I do it. This year I don't know how it's going to happen, what we're going to do or not, but I'm hoping that it's involved like a lot of the actors and directors that I work with to kind of get together and say, hey, you know what? Let's all have a big fundraiser.
Yeah.
I don't know why God has me in this acting stuff, but I'm assuming it's to meet more people to be able to raise more toys and bikes for the nonprofit.
Right.
So then I started.
What inspired you to do that? What was the trigger to be like?
Well, that's a good question, because I think I really don't have an answer, but if I have to guess, I felt 11 years ago. You may think I'm crazy, but I felt God nudging me, telling me to give toys and bikes to the kids. Mm-hmm. All I could blame it on is I did promise him that I would do whatever he wanted me to do and take my life.
Mm. That day you was crying.
Mm-hmm. I said, I'll do whatever you want.
Wow.
And then me feeling like give away toys, give bikes. I was like, well, that's God telling me, hey, remember that day when I saved your life and I told you, you told me you do whatever I wanted? Well, this is what I want you to do. So I'm just being obedient.
Wow.
And just being obedient, it's almost, it's crazy, sounds crazy, but it's almost like I have a conversation with him, like, mentally. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm going to do what? He said, yeah, you said you do whatever I wanted you to do. I want you to get toys and bikes. I'm like, okay, that's what you're going to do. Okay, I'll do it.
Wow.
And that's what started.
And you've been going 11 years strong?
We've been going 11 years strong.
Wow.
So, anybody out there, they want to volunteer, donate, I'm sure you're going to put the information.
Yeah. Yep. I
get that information. Yeah. This is Fernando Mora here. Again, thank you for tuning in for the show. Hope you're enjoying it. So Motivation Ministry is my nonprofit organization. If you'd like to donate, look at the information below, and all monies go towards bikes and toys for the children. Thank you. So through all this time, everything was happening. I was into my nonprofit organization for like 5 years. And then one of my old ex-girlfriends, I was going through a divorce and I really had no one to talk to, right? My ex-girlfriend a long time ago was, she would always call me with her problems, and I was, listening. So I was like, that's the only one I know I can talk to that's not going to judge me or anything. But we were better off as friends than a couple. Yeah. And we realized that, so we stayed friends. Mm-hmm. She told me, well, I asked her, can you talk? I need somebody to talk to. I had so much that I'm holding inside. So we sat and talked over lunch and stuff, and she was kind of, giving me advice. And then she asked me, I need a favor from you. And I said, sure, what you got? She was, my son, he's hanging around the wrong crowd. He's doing drugs. He's partying all day, all night. He goes, I know you've been through it. I want to see who you can talk to. Because his dad had just passed away.
Oh, wow.
Right? And he was and his dad was a cop. So when they turned 18, apparently the cop has some kind of organization where they give money to fallen heroes kids when they turn 18. A fund.
Oh, okay.
So he got all this money and all his friends.
It's kind of like the survivors. Because usually when people pass away,
they have a fund. They raise a fund.
Yeah, they have like a survivor. Well, the government pays like a survivor. Something survivor's guilt or survivor's pay, something like that.
Something like that. And, well, he had received his. So kids from all over the neighborhood were popping out all over the place now because he had money and he buying drugs and stuff. Can you talk to him? I said, yeah. It was on a Monday. I said, yeah, I'll talk to him on Thursday because I got this thing. She's like, okay.
Yeah.
Thursday came along, and I called her and I said, hey, I thought I was supposed to talk to your boy. She started crying. I called her and I was like, are you okay? I said, what happened to him? He goes, he shot and killed himself last night.
Wow.
Dude, I was kicking myself back. I was like, why did I wait till Thursday?
Wow.
Why didn't I talk to him that day or the next day?
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, I was feeling like to blame.
Guilty, yeah.
Guilty.
Like you felt in your spirit, you should have talked to him earlier.
I should have talked to him.
Wow.
So
that's
anyway,
deep, man.
It's deep, bro.
That's crazy.
So then I went to the.
Now this is the same week that you talked about it with her, like you want to talk to him,
Yeah,
like
I talked to her on Tuesday. He told me to talk to him on Thursday.
Wow.
Well, I said I'll talk to him on Thursday.
Right.
I mean, it was Monday and Thursday, 3 days apart.
Wow.
So then I was like, oh my God. So I said, you know what? I need to go to the Rosary and pay my respects. So I'm there paying my respects at the Rosary, and I look to the side, and I see a young girl, like 15, 16 years old. And I look at her, and I look at the girl, and I'm like, that little girl looks just like me. I was like, I looked like me with a wig on. I was like, is that my kid? Remember, she used to be my ex-girlfriend. And so I told the sister, I said, hey, is she my daughter? She goes, I don't know. I keep asking her, she denies it. And I said, you know what?
Oh, wow.
I said, you know what, let's, tell her name's Jessica. Get her, and then next week, because right there wasn't the right place. Time
Right.
So I have to wait a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then I said, hey, let's go have lunch. Bring your sister, Jessica. So we went to go eat. After that, every weekend, I'll take them to go shopping. I'll take them to go to the movie. Take them to go to the mall. Whatever. I had a feeling she was my daughter. So I did that for like 6 months. And a female friend of mine told me, she goes, Fernando, you better be careful what you're doing. And I was like, why? She goes, here you got a 16-year-old girl, hormones going crazy. Then here comes this older man in life and buying her whatever she wants, taking her to the store, buying her clothes, buying her shoes, giving her whatever she wants. She may start developing feelings you don't want. And I said, oh, crap. I never even thought
about it that way.
Yeah, I never looked at it that way.
Yeah, you're like, oh, this looks like she could be my daughter.
So now I was like, crap, I gotta say something. So I told the older sister, I said, you know what, y'all get all dressed up, we're gonna go out fancy dinner. So I took her to a fancy steakhouse. And I was like, I think we better eat first because I don't want to ruin dinner.
Yeah.
So we
Get
ate.
it out the way.
Yeah. So then I told Jessica, I said, hey, you probably wonder why I brought you here, right? She was like, yeah. And I said, you know your mom, how she used to be, she had a lot of boyfriends back in the day. She goes, oh yeah, she had a lot of boyfriends. You guys know. They know me as mom's old boyfriend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was with your mom for a while. They're like, yeah, I remember. The older sister remembered. She goes, but your mom would always talk about you and stuff. And I was like, okay. And then I said, I guess what I'm trying to say is, have you noticed that we ordered the same kind of food? She was like, no. I said, have you noticed we kind of resemble each other? I said, no, not really. I was like, okay, you're not going to make it easy for me. She was, what? And for the life of me, I could not say, I think you're my daughter, I think I'm your dad. I said, I think we're related. So
that's how you said it?
I didn't know what to say. I couldn't.
I think we're like, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I couldn't bring it out.
Yeah.
So then she started crying. She goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Your mom, she had a lot of boyfriends, and I think that we could be related. There's only one way to find out.
DNA test?
A DNA test. You mind doing a DNA test with me?" She was like, no, I don't want to know.
The daughter said she don't want to know?
My daughter. And I said, okay, that's fine. So then...
So it is your daughter. You just said my daughter.
I just gave it away.
Right, you said my
So the older sister took her to the restroom and she was all crying, kind of go freshen up her makeup was and stuff like that. So they come back and she goes, okay, I know how important it is to you. I'll go ahead and do it under one condition. I said, what's that? You never tell mom. I mean, no.
Where was the mom at?
Wow, it was just the mom was already going crazy because I was talking to her daughter and trying to find out.
So the mom you think she knew at the time already?
Well, yeah. Well, no,
Okay.
So then the sister brought her, and the one condition is I don't want to know.
Mm-hmm.
I said, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
We went. A couple of days later, we did the test. 3 days later, 99.9999%.
Your daughter.
She's my daughter.
Wow.
So then I told her.
And she's 16 at the time now. Wow.
5 days later, she calls me and she goes, I can't take it anymore.
The daughter?
My daughter.
Mm-hmm.
What were the results? And I said, my gut feeling was right.
Oh, she didn't know until you
she remembered the condition, but she didn't want to know.
She didn't want to know. So wow.
Until later on, she called me. She was like, I can't take it anymore. What were the results? I said, my gut feeling was right. I'm your dad.
Wow. Did she break down?
Bad, bro.
Wow.
I said, are you mad? She said, yes. I said, are you mad at me? She goes, no, I'm mad at mom for never not telling me anything. And I said, look, a lot of people are going to come forward and tell you a whole bunch of stories. Mm-hmm. Because she was 17. Mm-hmm. I said, a lot of people are going to come forward and they're going to blame me, accuse me of doing stuff because next year you turn 18 and you get all this money. Mm-hmm. I said, first of all, you need to know I never knew about you. Mm-hmm. If I would have known, I would have come looking for you. Number two, I don't want a penny from your money. That's your money. From your dad. From
the survivor's pay or
from who was her dad.
Who was the cop?
The cop.
Oh, okay.
He was a white cop. Mm-hmm. And I'm moreno. Come on. Again, like the role.
Yeah.
So.
And she's your same complexion?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, it turns out she's my daughter. And I asked Mom, on one end, I was going through a divorce and I had my ex-wife calling me every name in the book. Then over here, I had this lady calling me every name in the book because I found out that was my daughter.
But your ex-wife was the wife at the time? Is the one you told?
My ex-wife was a wife at the time.
And she was mad at the situation?
Well, she was mad just period because she had an affair on me and I was divorcing her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and she got mad because I'm divorcing her. I said, what the heck? You got an affair? I told you in the beginning, before we got married, if you ever cheat on me, I'm going to divorce you. Mm-hmm. I'm sticking to my word. So she was like, all these words, all these bad words, and over here cussing me out. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. You're cussing me out because you had an affair on me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You're cussing me up because I found out that's my daughter and you were hiding from me.
Wow.
Tell me where I went wrong here. How was I in the wrong in any of these situations?
Wow.
You've
been through it, man.
So I found my daughter through this whole time and stuff. Now we have a great relationship and stuff. She has yet to call me dad. She calls me.
Wait, so how old is she now?
Oh man, she's 24.
Oh, so it's been about 6-7 years now since that. Oh wow, so y'all developed this.
So I asked Mom, why didn't you ever tell me?
Yeah.
She said, well, at the time she was married to the cop, and me and the cop had a feud back and forth over her. It got pretty bad.
Back then, you never thought about it?
Yes, I would always think about it. I always had it in the back of my mind. People, I was 40 years old. People were asking me, do you have any kids? And I would say, not that I know of. Mm-hmm. People would laugh, ha ha, and I'd be like, ha ha ha, too. I'm serious. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so
it could be.
and people would laugh, and I said, I'm serious.
Yeah.
And then finally, it came, to fruition.
Yeah, wow.
So I asked her why, and then she said, because when the baby was born, right away he knew. Mm-hmm. She was morenita. He goes, I know this is Fernando's kid.
Who knew?
The cop. But
and he just took her and
so he says, I'll raise her as my own daughter under one condition. You never tell Fernando that it's his daughter.
Wow. So
he died 7 years prior to when I met my daughter, and she was going to take it to the grave. Or I would have found out.
Wow. That is...
She was going to take it to the grave. I would have never known.
Yeah.
But I had this gut feeling. And for some reason, I know it's God, kept me close to that family.
Yeah.
Because I had a daughter there.
Yeah. And this is the same one you said that y'all were, y'all ended up being, after y'all were in a relationship, y'all ended up saying y'all were cool friends?
Yeah.
Is that the same?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we're friends again now.
Oh, now y'all cool still.
We have a daughter together.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't talk to her every day or
every month.
Right.
But ever since you found out, y'all kind of like fixed, because you said she was mad at you. And
after she calmed down.
It took some time, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, because my daughter was pissed at her.
Yeah,
That's why she was pissed at me.
Yeah, so it was a whole circle. But it's a good thing you found out, though.
Yeah.
Now
I have a daughter.
Now you can tell people. Now you can tell people, yes, I do got.
Yeah.
You got any more running around?
So that's any more up there.
Wow.
No, but yeah. So in a nutshell, that's all that happened, and then of course when we started off with the acting, now the modeling, the entrepreneurship. I have 2 small businesses, a nonprofit that I run and stuff. And
we definitely put up the socials on them for people to find you, check you out. But man, you got a story. You definitely got a story. And you said it too. You said I got a story to tell, and I'm pretty sure everyone will watch this and soak it in. All right. So one thing I usually always ask every guest on my podcast, whether it's in life and acting, modeling, it could be in anything. What is your thrill?
My thrill?
Yeah.
My thrill, what makes me feel good inside, is giving back, bro.
Giving back.
Giving back to my community, seeing the kids.
And what is it, Motivation Ministries?
Mora.
Oh, Mora. Oh, that's fire. That's dope.
My last name plus Vation.
Yeah.
Motivation.
That was creative, man. Yeah. That's creative. Motivation Ministry. That's pretty cool.
So watching these kids open their toys and get on their bikes, something that they wouldn't have otherwise if it wasn't for us.
Yeah.
That's my thrill. That's giving back to my community, seeing other people happy.
That's dope.
That's
your thrill.
That's my thrill in life. I mean, I live for that on Christmas time, and just it makes me feel content. Makes me feel happy.
That's definitely humbling, man. And is there anything you could, if there's a gem you could drop to somebody, maybe someone coming up, like you said, you could have talked to that kid or something like that. Is there anything you could give somebody that maybe encourage them or,
Actually, this is to any spouse, family members, parents, grandparents. If you have a kid that's stuck, lost in the world, up to no good, in and out of jail, in prison, whatever, keep praying for them. Keep praying for them. One day God will touch their heart and have them change. My mother never stopped praying for me. My mother would go visit me every Thursday, and through a glass window, over the phone, crying. No mother should see her kid and cry every time she talks to her. My mom never stopped praying for me because she knew that, we have a strong God that He would get me out of this. So my recommendation is, hey, don't stop praying for these people. Yeah. They're lost, they need help, and God will get them out of this. So that's what I would have to say for them.
Any shout outs or anybody you want to just say thank you or to before we close out?
Mainly, I would like to give a shout out to my wife, Angela, if you're watching it, love you, babe, and thank you for all the support that you have through my ministry, through my acting, through my the modeling. I know it's a lot, but you stick with me. To all the volunteers that I have in the ministry, if it wasn't for these guys, none of this would be possible.
Nice.
Because you never will you hear me say my nonprofit. It's our nonprofit.
Nice.
Because as a matter of fact, this Saturday we're supposed to get an award at Comanche Park.
Oh wow!
And I have
congrats.
Thank you. And I have 2 of my volunteers that are going to go up there and receive the award on behalf of Motivation Ministry.
Wow!
Because they deserve all the credit.
That's a blessing.
It just has my name, but hey, they're the ones that do all the work with me.
Wow.
So, shout out to them.
Well, man, hey, you definitely, like I said, you have a story, man, and I'm glad you came on my podcast to share your story, and maybe your story touched someone else out there. That'll be amazing.
If touch one person, my job's done.
Yeah. And I really appreciate you coming on and being part of the podcast. I'm looking forward to seeing what's next in the future, man.
Yeah, maybe we'll get in another movie.
Yeah, let's do it, man. King of the South right now, man.
King of the South.
On that.
I don't know what's gonna come out, but when it does, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, definitely. And I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
I move just fine, trust me. So much work for y'all. Elect me to be the dope man serving y'all. You can spend your last 5, it's worth it, y'all. Cause so much work for y'all. I know this economic depression hurting y'all, but I got so much work for y'all. Once the clientele popping, I'm setting up shop and knocking my competition